Luke Thomas at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas, just after Bellator 149 next to football legend and I don't know if he's current mixed martial arts, but certainly former mixed martial arts, Herschel Walker. Herschel, thank you for your time.
Hey, thank
So
you.
after tonight, after watching, I guess, the co and main event, what are your thoughts on how the event went?
Well, it was a good event. There was a lot of good fights there. The Kimbo Dada fight was an interesting fight. And it was strange because anyone that knows martial arts, you can see that, Kimbo, they got tired. But they still stayed in there and they slugged it out. And with the Ken and the Horace fight was interesting because you see the knee to Ken, but then he didn't do anything until about three punches later. So I don't know whether it just all of a sudden hit him. But I think what was so great is the Vasa fight. I think that was the fight of the night. Those guys went at it a little bit, and also the Melvin fight. Getting knocked out. And it was a good card. I think that it was a good card. Sometime they're interesting.
You've been part of this debate. I mean, you were one of the greatest athletes in U.S. history. Certainly your football background is as decorated as they come. But you were a part of this debate about bringing people into a high-level show who don't have necessarily that high-level background in MMA. When you see it play out, Kimbo sort of paid his dues more or less at this point, but at Dada 5000, not so much. What do you make of the action? It seemed like in the audience, most of the fans were having fun. Maybe the majority of them, but there's still this question about what are you producing?
They were having fun, and one thing that was wild about it is, for a while, Dada was in it, though. That's what people got to remember. He was in the fight, and at one time, you thought he was going to take the fight over, and he just got tired. He got tired, and it was so funny. I remember Coach Landry once said, sometime when you get tired, it make a coward out of you, and you start taking shots that you're normally not going to take, and that's one thing that shouldn't happen, but it happens sometimes. I've seen other people get tired before, and I don't know, and I'm not sure how many fights Dada has had. You see 2-0 and stuff, and I don't know how many he's had in the cage. That's my thing is how many he's had in the cage and fought anyone, and and like you said, Kimbo has paid his dues, but Dada said he was ready, and and one thing about Scott is I have a lot of respect for Scott, and the reason why is, when I first mentioned this fighting thing, I thought I can step in this cage and just do it. And Scott took me aside, and I went to what you call a matchmaker bout, did these 5 different rounds, 5 different fights, and he told me if I go to a good camp, and that's the reason I ended up at AKA for almost 8 months before I even got a first fight. And I knew what I was under. And one of the things that I also say is training out of AKA, having Josh Thompson, Cain Velasquez, Daniel Luke, and they knew it. My thing is when I'm training, if the fighter says, Herschel, you don't have it, I won't fight again. And then I think that's what's important.
So did you see anything here tonight that might interest you as a future opportunity to pursue?
Oh, I've told Scott and I've told them all, I'll fight one more. It ain't got nothing to do with what I've seen tonight. I say I'll fight one more. I still train.
So what are you waiting for? Like just the right opportunity, the right moment?
No, I just told them I'll fight. If they call me up ready to fight, I'll fight. I'm still training, and and I'm always training. I've never stopped training. My thing is when they say, Herschel, you got to fight, I get back in there and train a little bit harder. And my thing is, I'm training 8-9 hours a day when I'm getting ready to fight. That's what I do, because I take it very seriously. This is a sport I've always loved, and a lot of people don't know this is not something I just happen to pick up. I've been doing martial arts tournaments ever since I was 18. So this is something I've been doing a long time. I did it even when I was in college. So I take this very serious, and I absolutely love the sport, and that's one reason I've been involved with it lately. And going out at AKA, which I think is one of the best gyms in the world, and being with the guys out there, I let them be the measuring stick for myself.
I'm going to switch gears here before I let you go. One more question. I'm a native Washingtonian. As you know, the Skins look like they're probably going to release RG3 any day now. Where does he go? Does he go to Dallas?
Well, I'm hoping he does go to Dallas. It is strange. I still think RG3 can play. And it's sad that, what was strange is they had him in dress clothes. And, the guy's practicing every week.
He was only activated one game.
And that's what is so funny. Now, what is Washington going to ask for him? they're gonna release him, or they're gonna really ask for something from him. But I tell you what, I'm not speaking for Jerry Jones, but I think the Cowboys love to get him. And that was one thing I said last year. The Cowboys needed to get a backup quarterback. Not that Tony couldn't make the whole season, and not that he couldn't get the job done, but you needed someone that can step in and give Tony a break. He's had a couple of back surgery. That plays a big role. And to have someone like RG3 who's from that area, that's the area he's from, and maybe that can be the lift that the Cowboys are looking for. They're going to do some things because he's proven he can do it. And I think now that he sees what he's got to get done now, I think he's going to be a changed guy.
Last question. I lied. One more. Okay. True or false? That's all you got to say. True or false? Johnny Manziel will play in the NFL next season.
That's a tough one.
I've struggled with it too.
I would say true. And
Sure.
The guy can play. The guy can really, really play. And I've heard guys on ESPN and all these guys, oh, he can't play at all. The guy can play. Let's give him his due. He's had some off-the-field problems. But the thing is the NFL, and I said this a long time ago, there's a lot of guys that got off-the-field problems that we got to take very seriously, and we don't. And I think the coaches got to be responsible for it. One thing, we got to go back, and I don't want to go way off the subject, but we got to go back to Texas A&M. What did Texas A&M do to help him prepare for the NFL? Because this didn't just happen in the NFL. He had to be doing this at Texas A&M that they never really talked about it. They covered it up. And I think you got to start out when a kid is young. You can't just start out in the NFL thinking you're going to become a superstar. Because one of the things I think Johnny Manziel has found out, RG3 has found out, you have guys in this league that's 6'5", 300 pounds that can run that 4.7 or 4.75, and those guys can move pretty quickly.
Herschel, we appreciate your perspective as always. We look forward to your cage return, whenever that may be. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.